Let's kick off with something that doesn't come around too often. A free digital card game that's actually worth your time. That's what Marvel's Snap is, and it's pretty brilliant. The games are quick, exciting, and there's a deceptive level of strategy involved. And your favourite Marvel characters? They're all here! Absorbing Man! Squirrel Girl! Iron Man! Nobody is left out, apart from all the characters that are left out. It's a refreshing breath of fresh air in a genre that's steadily been getting slower, older, and creakier. I know how it feels. And now the sequel to a game lauded for being very ambitious and very pretty. So, what can we say about Horizon Forbidden West? Well, it's an ambitious game for one, but it's also very pretty. And just as Zero Dawn wowed us all the way back in 2017, so too has its evolution. Yes, it's a little bit slow to start up, but once you get to the action, it's just fantastic. Definitely one for anyone who's ever had a fantasy of climbing all over a 10-meter tall mechanical T-Rex of death. When you've been around for nearly 30 years, you start to get a bit slow. You make bad decisions. Everything is a struggle. That's been an issue with the Pokémon franchise, but they had a second wind and reinvented the wheel with Pokémon Legends Arceus. The core ideals of the game are all there. You're still catching them, and all of them must be caught. But the gameplay loop, world, and setting have been thrown completely off center. What we got is something that felt different. Good different. Something that made us look at Pokémon Scarlet and Violet and think, come on now, we know you can do better. F your ideas up, you suck. So I got pretty taken by surprise by Cult of the Lamb. It's like a mix of Binding of Isaac, Animal Crossing, Pikmin, and Scientology. You raise and lead a flock of followers, set your doctrines for your own special little cult, and go on crusades converting non-believers to your cause through very violent methods. On paper, it's bonkers. Looking at the mix of influences, it just shouldn't work. But it does. And it's just so charming. The art style is unique. The gameplay look is engaging and fun. Bit grindy, but in a good way. Cults don't build themselves overnight. I'm not a fan of cats. They're aloof, chauvinistic. They think they're better than me. But then Stray came out, and I had a realization. Cats are better than me. First and foremost, it's gorgeous. The game, not the cat. The cat's alright, I guess. But Stray actually looks better than reality. It is stunning. But this isn't just some floor demo for how pretty a game can be. The whole thing is captivating and delightful, very much unlike cats. The game has a certain grace to it that you wouldn't get if it were about a stray dog, for example. Then it would just be about eating garbage and seducing fire hydrants. Maybe that's why some people prefer cats. I think I get it now. Xenoblade Chronicles is absolute nonsense. It is a ludicrous, ridiculous, confusing game. But that's what makes it so bloody brilliant. It is unhinged, a mishmash of styles that turn it into this Frankenstein creation that's just unique and a joy to play. The combat is a big draw. Not quite turn-based, not quite real-time. It's like a JRPG and an MMO had a baby. And that baby bursts into the world holding an 8-foot sword. It's just madness! The game is like a really eccentric friend, like an Andy Warhol or Frank Zappa type. You don't fully get what they're about, or why, but boy, it's just really fun to be around them. Okay, I'll be honest. I didn't see Pentiment coming. The game still leaves me a bit off kilter. From the deranged minds of Obsidian, yes, those same guys that made Fallout New Vegas, we have a game that I can't even begin to explain. But I have to anyway, because it's my job. So, you're an illustrator who's landed slap bang in the middle of a series of bloody murders, and you're wrapped up in a whodunit mystery spanning 25 years. It's a game where choices really, and I mean really, matter, and they'll have lasting, branching consequences on the world around you. And if the possibilities of what could have been don't bring you back around for another go, the game's incredible art, music, and story direction certainly will. 2022 was the year when Kratos returned into our lives for another romp across Scandinavia and beyond, maiming everything in sight. Given the legacy and quality of the 2018 title, and the fact that Santa Monica are just an amazing studio, no one was really that surprised that Ragnarok was just exceptional. Kratos is still a bone-breaking, badass super dad, the world the studio lovingly crafted is still awe-inspiring. Not to mention, creating a game in one continuous camera shot is still just awesome and mind-boggling. I can't even do this show in one take. Any other year, this would be my #1 pick. But unfortunately, it came out in a year where there were some better games. Should have got into the 22 spirit and delayed it. I wouldn't have blamed them. It's what I would have done. And here we are. Yes, it's Elden Ring. What a glorious, incredible game that made God of War Ragnarok stand in line for all of its Game of the Year awards. It's been a wild ride since its first announcement back in 2019. And to be frank, I didn't really think it was happening. Then it came out. And like everything From Software makes, it was absolutely exceptional. The whole setting is dark and demented, the combat bloody, fiendishly difficult and unforgiving. And for the first time in a From Software game, I can ride a horse. And that horse can jump really high, like Michael Jordan high. It's exhilarating. The whole thing really is extraordinary, and it takes all the good things from the other Soulsborns, building on them to create a game which may well be From Software's magnum opus. 2022 was full of surprises, and Elden Ring might just be the best surprise of that year. But it's still not my Game of the Year. Why? What could possibly beat both Elden Ring and God of War? Well, I'm glad you asked. Because no other award show will have the stones to do it, I'm doing it. My Game of the Year for 2022, Vampire Survivors. Don't write to me, don't at me. This isn't even up for debate. This is the best game I've ever played, and I've played Elden Ring. Why do we play games? Because they're fun, and because they give us a dopamine rush. Sure, you'll get a healthy dose of lovely brain juice over 100 hours of playing Elden Ring or God of War, or you get it all at once in a 15-minute span playing Vampire Survivors. There's garlic, magic pigeons, milk monsters, tiramisu, dogs that poop flowers, chicken that you can eat straight off the floor and it won't make you ill, skeletal prawns, super magic treasure chests, and more cats than Stray, a literal game about cats. For a game that's only inputs are up, down, left and right, it packs a hell of a punch, which will keep you occupied for hours, days, weeks, maybe not months, but definitely for years. Also, my final closing argument is the price. God of War and Elden Ring are, what, 50, 60 pounds? You could get that, or for the same price, you could get 15 copies of Vampire Survivors. Now, would I rather play one massive game or 15 of the same smaller game simultaneously? If you think I'd pick the first thing, well, then you just don't know me at all. So my vampire buddies may have been snubbed by pretty much every other award show. But don't you worry, I have the power to correct that. Who gave me that power? Dunno. Don't worry about it. I get to pick a Game of the Year award, don't I? Okay, apparently I don't. Elden Ring or God of War are still the actual technical Game of the Years, but Vampire Survivors gets my very exclusive Cole Award, which is worthless. Sorry. I'll try and get accredited to give Game of the Year awards, and I'll be back. And it's going straight to my 15 copies of Vampire Survivors.